What is your dental practice financial policy? Is it too long and involved? Is it too brief and not comprehensive enough? Is it turning patients off and you don't even know it? Or maybe you don't even have a financial policy. My financial policy, I don't know, maybe it's 2 words. Let's find out about all of this stuff. And of course, we'll do some great mystery shopper calls on this episode of the Dental Practice Fixers Podcast. Thanks so much for being there. I'm your host today. My name is Dr. Richard Maddow. I am co-founder of the Maddow Center for Dental Practice Success. I'm an actual dentist, along with my brother Dave, who's an actual dentist as well. We've been helping dentists and team members all across North America succeed in their practices for over 30 years. Wow, a long time. So thanks so much for joining me today. Okay, financial policy. Wow. A short time ago, a dentist contacted me and said, "Hey, Rich, can you take a look at my financial policy, my office financial policy?" I said, "Sure, send it over." So they sent over this attachment. It was their office financial policy. I opened it. It was, I kid you not, 8 pages long of all these scenarios and contingencies and threats. If you don't do this, you're going to wind up in hell burning it was unbelievable. I'm looking at this thing thinking, first of all, nobody's ever read this thing. It looked like it took a team of lawyers to make it up, or else they purchased it just lock, stock, and barrel from some company and never changed anything or even looked at the thing. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't sign this in a million years. An 8-page financial policy to go to a dental office? You got to be kidding me. I'm not sure that I would sign any financial policy these days. Maybe you have one in your office. Maybe you don't. I remember after my residency, way back when, I started working for a dental practice, and it was, pretty large. I guess you'd call it like a somewhat commercialized dental practice for those days. And they had all these documents that they asked patients to sign when they first came in. It was a financial policy. It was things about, extraction of wisdom teeth may cause paresthesia, all these different contingencies and scenarios. And I don't think anybody read it, first of all. Secondly, I don't think if anything actually happened that was described on this many pieces of paper that the patient signed, that any of it would hold up in court. I don't think it was, a valid legal document, as they say. And I think it really turned some people off. And I actually saw some people say, "I'm not signing that." And then it's a real difficult situation. You say you can't treat them. Well, you kind of have to, but then you're missing out on what could have been a good patient. I don't know. It was a big mess. And as you can tell, just from my tone and attitude here, I hope I don't have a tude for my tone and attitude, that I am not really a fan of having patients sign these complicated financial policies. I'll tell you, a short time ago, I needed new glasses. So I went to the optometrist. My glasses, I usually wear contact lenses, but you need a good pair of glasses as well. My glasses were maybe 4 or 5 years old, and my prescription had changed. Not for the better, that I can tell you. My eyes were not getting better. So I needed different glasses that were a little bit stronger, so to speak. So, you go through the whole thing. You pick the frames, and of course, the frames that are $69 aren't the frames you want. So you wind up picking a pair of expensive frames. Mine were like made in Portugal or something. I'm not sure why. Is that like the frame making capital of Europe? I don't know. But those were the frames I picked. And then, of course, you get the lenses, and they say, well, you don't want those ugly little lines where you can tell that they are, bifocals. No, you want the smooth lines. So everybody thinks you're 20 years younger. Well, damn right, I want that. They say, well, do you ever walk outside? Yeah, I walk outside all the time. Well, then you certainly want to kind of turn into sunglasses. And your old glasses are all scratched up. Let's give you some scratch-proof lenses that actually aren't scratch-proof. I say, that's definitely what I want, some scratch-proof lenses that actually aren't scratch-proof. Boom, I'm in. And they say, and do you spend a lot of time at the computer? Well, who the heck doesn't these days? I think I spend 28 hours a day staring into the computer screen. Well, you definitely want these special blue blocking components so your eyes don't fatigue. Yeah, I want it all. Give me the greatest pair of glasses ever made. So they, wrote this whole thing up. It was like $1,100. I couldn't believe it. Maybe it's been a long time, or maybe my memory is short, but I expected these glasses to be like $350 or $400. I thought even that was a lot. They were $1,100. I figured, what the heck? I only get glasses every 4 to 5 years. Might as well get these. They seem great. So Now, do you think that they had me sign a financial policy or started talking about some kind of fakakta payment plan? No, they said, that'll be $1,100, please. And guess what I did? I whipped out my American Express and gave them $1,100. And I'll tell you what else. I was not expecting anything different. I didn't expect that they'd say, we've got these different options for you. I didn't expect they'd say, here's our 20-page financial policy. I don't think if I said, hey, can I pay this off over time? They said, oh, sure, just pay the doctor $100 a month for 11 months. Here are your glasses, we'll trust you. No, I didn't expect any of those things. I expected to pay for my glasses, even though I thought they were really expensive and it was more than I planned on spending or more than I wanted to spend. This is what I needed. This is what we decided on, and I fully expected to pay. And honestly, I don't understand why things are any different in dental practices. We're providing a service and you need to pay, just like anywhere else in the world, just like the grocery store. Just like if you go into an audio store and buy a new pair of noise cancellation headphones, you expect to pay. And if you want to pay that over time, then you put it on a credit card and you get ripped off, whatever the case. We don't expect anybody in real life to come up with these fakakta payment arrangements for things. So why do we do this in dentistry? I just don't get it. My financial policy is this: pay now. That's it. I'm not having anybody sign an 8-page ridiculous document that just scares them away and that I can't enforce anyway. It makes no sense. The financial policy, it's not even a policy. I just recommend we start acting like everybody else in the world, which is if you want something, you got to pay for it, right? And I think it's also time that we realize we don't have to treat every single person that walks through our door. Now, of course, we need to offer good options. But all of those options involve us getting paid. They don't involve us waiting for payment. They involve somebody else waiting for payment, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, Care Credit, anybody else that you've worked out some kind of arrangement with. That's who has to wait for the payment, not us, because we are dentists. We provide an incredibly great service. It's sure, it might be on the expensive side, but it's an excellent value. We're putting people in great health. And we don't have to worry about getting paid and getting ripped off. Again, my financial policy is pay now. And when you're very matter of fact about it, when you act like that's the way it is, people respond the same way. Like, okay, that's how much it is. I expect to pay. I expect my patients to pay before treatment begins or on the day treatment begins. And that's the way it goes. I'm not saying you can pay over 6 months. Now, are there exceptions? Of course. If old Gertrude, who's 120 years old, has been coming into your office for 90 years, and she always does some kind of payment plan where she pays over 6 months and she's never missed a payment, well, sure, we're going to let old Gertie continue doing that, and that's fine. But no one else. If you don't have a history of doing this, if you haven't been a patient of record for decades, if you're a new patient, whatever, starting now, patients have to pay. Now, of course, that means we have to have financial options. Sure, we'll take cash or check. Does anybody pay by check these days? I don't know, maybe a few people do. Does anybody pay by cash these days? Maybe a few people do. But let's face it, most of the time, it's going to be credit card or some kind of third-party financial agreement. We're not the third party. I cannot stress that enough. Your dental office is not the third party. The third party is Care Credit or another company like that. Credit cards, absolutely. Everybody has credit cards. If somebody doesn't have a credit card, they maybe have a debit card. But if somebody doesn't have a credit card and they don't have any money in their debit card, there's a reason. It's because they screwed up their credit somewhere. I mean, any idiot can get a credit card these days. I get 50 letters in my mailbox every day asking me how many credit cards I want. So if somebody can't get a credit card, it means there's probably something fishy going on with their credit or their lifestyle, or they've declared 1 million bankruptcies or something like that. So why would you ever extend credit to that kind of person? And it's the same thing with Care Credit. If somebody applies for Care Credit and Care Credit turns them down, that's the last person you want to extend credit to, which just reminded me, I forgot to do my little promo for Stacks, which I do every podcast because they are incredible. So since we're talking about credit cards, you got to take credit cards in your office. Again, if the patient doesn't pay Visa or MasterCard or whoever, and they wind up paying some exorbitant, ridiculous interest rate, it's not your problem. The money's already in your bank account. You don't have to worry about it. So encourage patients to use credit cards. Since you're taking credit cards in your office, you got to use Stacks for your credit card processing, because speaking of getting ripped off, If you're not using Stacks, you're getting ripped off because every other credit card processor charges some kind of fakakta overage percentage. Every time somebody uses their credit card, you're paying a percentage of overage to your credit card processor. Stacks doesn't do that. They just charge a low flat. It's very low and it's extremely flat and it's a monthly fee. And we've been using Stacks at the Maddow Center for several years now. We save money every single month. Dentists all across the US are saving money, hundreds, thousands every single month, and you should too. So check it out. Just go to maddow.com/save, madow.com/save, SAVE. You can get all started with Stacks. As I say, one phone call, it's on autopilot. The switch to Stacks is seamless, and then you'll be saving money every single month because they just charge a low, flat monthly fee. So that's credit cards. Now, how about Care Credit or any other third-party financing? Financing, is that a word? I'm just making up the words as I go along. Care Credit happens to be my favorite. They've been helping dentists get paid for decades. They're the big boys for a reason. They're the best. They're simple to deal with. Ask your Care Credit rep for, I can't even think of what it's called. I call it the green form. There's this little form they have. It's one page and it's green and white. That's why I call it the green form. And it just clearly lays out all the financial options for your patients. And that is, if you want to pay by cash or check, this is how much the treatment will be. They do the whole breakdown. This is your fee. This is how much insurance covers, whatever. You don't have insurance, doesn't matter. This is how much you owe. You can hear your options: cash, check, credit card. Should you want to utilize third-party financing, here are the different breakdowns. If you do it over 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, it gives you all the different options right there in black and white for your patient to choose. I want to do it that way. You don't need a financial policy if you're doing this. You're offering the patient all these options and they've got to choose one. And one of the options is not that they make some kind of backroom agreement with the dentist to pay them a certain amount for the next 9 months, and then they stop paying after 2 months. That's not on there. So stop offering that. It's, again, this is your financial policy. They're choosing which one they're going to do. And once they choose, you don't have to worry about a financial policy because everything will be paid up. So you can tell I'm very excited and enthusiastic about this, and I want you to do it. So many times dentists contact us to look at their practice data, and we do a snapshot, which we do for you at maddow.com/snapshot, look at all their different data, and we see a huge amount of money owed. Why do patients owe you money? Why do you let patients owe you money? Use this green sheet. It clearly lays out their options. I'll do A, B, C, or D. Boom, it's over. Nobody owes you money anymore. Now, Care Credit, who, as you know, I'm really fond of, needs to be presented properly. And it's not, you don't need to do the whole spiel about an application and an approval and it's a third party and it's called Care Credit, this and that. It's just, we can do 12 months interest-free. That'll be just $200 a month. If you want to take advantage of that, just, check right here, whatever it is. It's so easy. And they lay out all the options for you. So I am begging you, imploring you, whatever it is, to stop with the complicated financial policies. Stop letting patients owe you money. Use the green sheet. Your Care Credit rep can get it for you. If you're not using Care Credit, I don't know why you're not, but if you're not, you can come up with your own. It's one sheet of paper. It lays out all the options. It's simple. They pick, they pay, you begin treatment, and you move on. And if they pick credit card or third-party financing, the money's wired to your account before the burr even hits the tooth. What could be better? What a world! Amazing. Please do it. And now, since we're talking about patients paying, let's do some fun mystery shopper calls. I know this is why you listen to the Dental Practice Fixers, for the mystery shopper calls. Please play these at team meetings. Team members can learn so much, and doctors can learn so much too from these mystery shopper calls. So along the lines of financing, kind of continuing the theme with this podcast, I called some offices. I said, I know I need 3 or 4 crowns. Do you offer any kind of payment options? And people just went off on tangents. Oh man, it was unbelievable. Let's go over here to Command Central and see if we can get call number 1 ready to rock. Okay, here it is. Let's go.
This is Alina. How can I help you?
I have a question. Do you do crowns in your office?
Yes, we do, sir.
Okay, good, good, good. I was told by my last dentist I need like 3 or 4 crowns.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they usually cost wise?
Unfortunately, it depends on the tooth number and also if you have the insurance, it depends on your coverage. So we cannot give you a specific price for that. The first thing that we have to do, we have to schedule your appointment for a evaluation again in our office because the doctor here in our office will not go by the that other provider or other doctor treatment. He has to do his own evaluation and exams. After that, he will give you his own treatment. Then we can go ahead and follow that treatment if you want.
Right, that makes sense. Just
Yeah.
I'm not holding you to this, but how much is a crown usually?
And normally it's about 450 if you have insurance, it may be like 100 up and down. Yeah.
What do you mean up and down?
It depends on your insurance coverage.
Okay,
If
but if
you
I
have
don't have
your
it,
insurance.
right,
If
if
you
I don't
don't
have
have
insurance,
insurance, yeah, it's more than 500.
more than 500, but less
Yes.
than, okay, okay. Um,
Yeah.
all right, all right. And do you have
Yeah. I mean
any kind
about
of
550. Yeah.
for the whole
Because it
shebang
depends on
for a
the
crown? Yeah,
yeah, it depends on the tooth number two, like which tooth is that?
yeah, yeah. I think it's tooth number
Yeah.
14 for one of them.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So tooth
yeah.
number 14, let me see, for a adult patient. I'm sorry, sir. Let me just make sure a little bit.
You checking to see which
So
tooth is
yeah,
tooth number 14? Yeah.
that's the upper left, tooth number 14 and the molars. Yeah, as I said, it depends. So it's a big tooth.
Yeah, it's a big one. Um, okay. And then if I decide to get like all, if I need 4 crowns and decide to get them all done at once, is there any kind of payment arrangement that can be made, do you think?
Yeah, yeah. So if you have your insurance, and we'll give you the treatment before you decide to do it after when we did the evaluation here in our office. So you will get all the information, your copays, yeah, everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yes. We'll give you
All
the
right.
information about your treatment, how much gonna be your portion, the insurance part, everything if you have dental insurance. With no insurance, we'll give you your portion, your copay information, everything, and we will give you discount about 30% if our patient doesn't have insurance. So yeah, all of these are included too. So kind of process. So yeah.
Okay. I think I understand. Great. Well, thank you so much for that. Thanks for
No
your
problem,
time.
sir. Thank you so much. No problem.
Right
Have a
on.
good day. Bye bye.
Oh, you
Thank you.
too. Bye. Holy moly, what was going on there? She kept me on the phone for 3 minutes and 48 seconds, told me all this information, some good, some not so good, and then never asked if I wanted to come in. Now, at the beginning, she even said that you need to be evaluated by our doctor. Why didn't you just cut her loss and say, I'd love to answer that question, but you need to be evaluated by our doctor. The best thing is, why don't you come on in? Let's make you an appointment. We can do an exam. Are you available tomorrow at 3 p.m.? Boom. The call would have been 45 seconds long and I would have had an appointment. But she goes off on all these tangents. She was so focused on insurance, too. I told her I didn't have insurance, and she kept bringing up insurance. This is how much it's going to cost. And I said, well, how much without? A crown's $550 without insurance, and then they give a 30% discount. How are they in business? I don't know, but it's not my problem. But the main thing is, she kept me on the phone asking all these questions, telling me all these things, some true, some not. It took her, she spent 45 seconds looking up which tooth is tooth number 14. And then at the end, okay, thank you, bye. Never got my contact info. never offer an appointment. Just unbelievable. Let's go to the next call.
We will be with you quickly. This call will be recorded to ensure the highest level of customer service.
Ooh, I'll bet it will be.
Welcome. Please press 1 to be connected.
Why don't you just answer the phone? What's this BS?
Please press 1.
Press 1. I don't know. I don't get it.
Thank you for calling. This is Lamba. How can I help you?
Hi, I have a question for you. I was told by my last dentist probably about a year ago that I needed 4 crowns. Do you do crowns there?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And how much is a crown usually? About how much?
Well, I wouldn't know that because usually we do you have insurance?
I don't.
Okay, yeah, I honestly wouldn't know. So it depends on which teeth and stuff. So usually people come for a consultation first, and then we go from there. And usually Dr. Reich, the mainly doctor, gives discounts and stuff. So I honestly don't know how much 1 crown without insurance is because I have most of my patients with insurances.
I see. Well, when you bill the insurance, isn't there an amount you bill for the crown that's different if you don't have insurance, you're
So
saying?
different insurances, yeah. So some insurances 500, some 6, some 1,000. It's all different.
Crazy, man. Well, let me ask you something. If it's going to
Yeah.
be, that much, is there any, if I don't have insurance, is there any way for me to have some kind of payment arrangement for that, or do I need to pay all at once?
So what I do, I apply usually a cash patient discount for patients, and then we do have care credit. It's something that patients use here in our office. They apply for a care credit and they can use that, or I do only 2 or 3 payments, not more than that.
Okay, I see. Okay. And what is care credit? I'm not familiar with that.
It's something like a credit card they use for your medical work. You just apply for it, and then depends on, they check a credit score and everything. You get approved for a certain amount, and then they give you that amount, and you can use it for your medical work, and then you pay them monthly with no interest.
Oh, wow. Good deal. Good deal. Okay. Thank you so much for all that info.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Oh man, I liked her. I want to hang out with her. She was cool. It's there's a lot of stuff. I don't know all that stuff about the prices and stuff. I mean, it depends on your teeth and stuff. And sometimes we give discount stuff and you're welcome. Oh boy, wow. Woo. She gave absolutely no information and then made no attempt to get me in. I don't know. I liked her. She was cool. She'd probably be fun to hang out with, but man, and no idea what the fees were. That was kind of crazy. And then just made zero attempt to get me in. Okay, let's move on here. I think you know where we're getting, where I'm going with this. Give some information, then invite the patient to come into the office, please, please, please. Okay. Hi, I have a question for you. Do you do crowns in your office?
We do.
Yeah, my last dentist, it was about 8 or 9 months ago, told me I needed 4 crowns.
Okay.
So how much would that typically be in your office?
Well, it depends on what type. Are we talking about regular crowns? We're not talking about an implant crown, just a regular crown.
I think just a regular old crown, yeah.
Okay. Usually crowns are $1,400. Now that depends on if you need a build-up or not. Sometimes you need a build-up, which would be $315. So let's just say we're figuring high. 1,400 times 4 would be 5,600. If you're having sometimes a tooth is broken down, it's mostly filling, so you have to build it up, and then that would be $315. So that would be $1,715 altogether.
Gotcha. Build me up, Buttercup, right? So if I want to get all 4 at once, do you have any kind of payment arrangements or options for that?
You don't have insurance or anything?
I don't have insurance.
That's something that we could look into. You probably should come in for a consultation and maybe bring a narrative or x-rays from your other dental office to see that this is exactly what you need. I mean, sometimes when you have a lot of work that's been told that needs to be done, sometimes it's good to get a second opinion.
Okay, so you would look at this as a second opinion for starters.
Well, if you came in to have a second opinion, that would probably run you maybe, say, like $100, just to look and see. Maybe Dr. Himmelman would want to take X-rays of her own, because we've never seen you before. We're going by what someone else said. You might need four crowns. Your teeth are just regular fillings. You've never had crowns. This isn't a redo. These are, I'm assuming your teeth maybe have fillings in the front teeth, or they're broken down, and the other doctor has suggested that you need crowns.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just like those old large metal fillings that, he said they needed to be retired.
Right. Well, usually in front teeth you have the white fillings.
Yeah, these aren't front teeth. They're back teeth.
These are front teeth, right?
No, they're back teeth.
They're back teeth. Okay. So you probably have fillings that are broken down. So then again, you might need to have a buildup to strengthen the crown. So, but you're more than welcome to come here for, a consultation, just to see that this is what the other gentleman told you.
I see. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for the info.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. I just don't get it. I've never seen anything so consistent in my life that somebody can keep you on the phone for so long and then not even offer an appointment. Now, what she said was pretty reasonable. I love when she said, bring a narrative with you. Like, first of all, most people don't know what that means, nor do they have one, but that's kind of getting a little nitpicky here. She gave the fees. She said they might need build-ups. I'm not sure I agree with the way she gave the fees and talked about the fee for the build-up and all that stuff. And, let's face it, sometimes it's good just to avoid talking about fees and just get the patient in. I'm not saying she necessarily did anything wrong, because I asked how much is a crown. Personally, I would say, well, why don't you stop on in, no charge, look-see to see if our doctor thinks you actually need crowns. That's maybe worded a little better than that, but that would be my first strategy before even starting to talk about fees. Get the patient in, see what they actually need, take it from there. But nevertheless, she gave a ton of information and then just never even came close, and I mean not even close, to inviting me in for a visit. For current theme, yes. When a patient calls with questions, especially a patient that thinks they need 3 or 4 crowns, invite them to become a patient in your practice. What is so hard about this? Before I go crazy here, I better say that this is going to be it for this episode of the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. Send me an email with any comments, questions. Sometimes I read questions on the podcast, as you know. My personal email is rich, RICH, at Madow, MADOW.com. And I invite you to check out our website. Believe it or not, it's Madow.com, MADOW.com. Thanks so much for listening or watching Dental Practice Fixers podcast, and I'll see you soon. Bye.